and welcome to another episode of HR Nightmares. I'm Lisa Leath, and I'm the founder of Leath HR Group, and I am here with two of our favorite senior HR consultants,
Amy Conway
and
Greg Mosier.
Hey, this is Greg's second episode of HR Nightmares.
Yay.
And what's fun about this is we are tackling real audience write-ins. So we're digging into the HR Nightmares inbox, which, by the way, if you don't know where that is or how to get to it or how to get free HR advice from two experts that are bookending me here, go to leathhrgroup.com. At the top right of the website, there's a big red button called HR Nightmares. You can click on it and submit anonymous write-ins. Doesn't matter if you're an employee, a manager, a colleague of somebody you want to rat on and get some free HR advice about, or you're a fellow HR person that just wants to see what somebody else like us would do in your situation. We'd love to hear from you. So these are fun. We got a bunch of write-ins still. The last episode was pretty fun.
Yeah.
We got some new
We
flavors.
got part two.
Let's get to them.
Yeah.
Part two. All right, let's do it. Do you want to talk about drinking, or do you want to talk about rude things on T-shirts or being monitored by the man? What do you guys want to talk about?
Oh, let's talk about that Alexa one first.
Okay, because this is actually this is legitimate.
This will be new. I only skimmed these, so I don't remember that one.
Okay, all right, this will be a good one. So let's call this one Alexa, Are We Being Monitored? So an anonymous engineer, we don't know what kind of engineer, writes in, our CEO recently installed Alexa devices in all the conference rooms, quote unquote, for convenience. Okay, that seems legit. I just ordered 2 Alexas for my kids to use as alarms. But employees are worried they're being listened to all day. They are by Jeff Bezos. There's no policy in place. Is this legal? Should HR step in? So this is an engineer. This is a frontline team member. They want to know Alexa devices in all the conference rooms. Should I be worried that I'm getting listened to?
So my first reaction to this is okay, CEO, no good deed goes unpunished.
Totally.
It's
that is my saying at work every day.
Or not. If you're thinking about this all, 360 degrees around this, either, hey, this is a great idea. This could be convenient. If you got a question, hey, Alexa, what's this or that? And you get an answer, whatever. Or the CEO is trying to listen to everybody's meeting, one or the other. So for this engineer that may be a little paranoid about what's going on inside this company, there may be a history. There may be a lot of trust issues in this company with the CEO to where people may actually be correct. And maybe they are trying to do this. If that's the case, then is this the company you really want to work for? But, when there's an HR issue, my first inclination is, I believe you. I'm gonna in my mind, I'm gonna agree with you, and then next, I'm gonna disagree with you, and then I'm actually gonna go look for the data and understand what's really going on here. Is there a history of trust issues, either specifically with the CEO or in the culture of this company? But otherwise, at first, it's okay, that kind of seems like a good idea on the face of it.
Yeah, my guess is it's just because we want to be able to say, Alexa, play music before this meeting starts.
Yeah.
Not to monitor everything happening. My first thought is never have I ever been someone who's been worried of anyone listening to me or monitoring because I'm not saying anything crazy or that's going to be called into question, right? So it's well, what are you so worried about? And this is our building. We could monitor anything. We could look at all your emails.
That's right.
That doesn't mean we are doing that unless we have a reason to go back and listen to something because we need to reference it. But maybe we are monitoring it. This is our building. We want to know what's going on. Is that what Alexa was bought for? Probably not. I'm guessing again. It was just for convenience and having an element in a conference room. It's not like you put Alexa every single in all the bathrooms.
All of a sudden, there's an Alexa
in the back
cubicle.
offices, right? And so it's why are we jumping to that conclusion? And if I was HR, I'd be is this one engineer I have who maybe that's. Everyone has their own personal feelings about all the things happening on our phone and Alexa and Siri. And there are humans that are very paranoid of that. And then there's people like me who I'm I could care less. What are they listening to that they would find the least bit interesting that I'm saying.
Yeah,
or
you should
that
be
I'm
talking
doing.
about work in the conference room.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I'm not someone who ever would worry about that. Right. But there are other people who are, and they don't want things on their phone. They don't want Alexas in their home. And I respect all of those viewpoints. But at the same time, you're in the workplace. And if we want to put Alexas in the conference room, like to make things more fun and
Also,
convenient, like we're going to do that.
99% of the people are excited to listen to music.
So I think all you need to do is go back to that person and say like, well, here are the reasons why we added that.
And turn it
certainly
off
know
before
the
you're using the conference room.
intention is not that we're monitoring you, and this is a conference room and business meetings are happening. So if we're able to kind of use some of that, if it's recording any of that, and we're able to go and transcribe stuff because Alexa empowers us to use AI, and now we can transcribe meetings easier. Like those are the reasons we bought this, right?
Yeah.
And ease that person's mind because they clearly have some paranoia around the monitoring.
I mean, if you want to have a 100% confidential conversation, then go have that conversation somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, either offsite or in a room without Alexa
or with someone that
whatever.
doesn't work with you.
Yeah.
Talk
But
to your spouse.
if it's also going to keep you from saying inappropriate things in a conference room, in a business meeting, then good.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you're going to have that hesitation now because there's an Alexa sitting over there in the corner.
And if you fly off
because
the
you
deep
shouldn't
end,
be doing
now
that
we got it
anyways.
recorded.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm thinking about that. Like I heard a story from another consultant this week about just like how, they had placed a new controller in this like very reputable, like $40 million business. And the controller reported back, like everything's going great, but like there's some pretty inappropriate, like unprofessional jokes happening around like the leadership table. And it's like, yeah, maybe if that Alexa would keep them from talking like that, like they could advance the business even faster. Stuff like that is still happening. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Pro Alexa or against Alexa?
I don't have one. But when the people I know that do have them, they love them.
Yeah. Pro Alexa?
Yeah, she just turns on some music. I mean, she's probably listening to me, but she keeps me company. Me and Pippa, Pippa barks sometimes. She turns on.
Oh, I just ordered two. I'm going to try it.
But again, like, I just don't even think my mind doesn't go there, of the paranoid part of it.
Yeah, this is okay. All right, cool beans. All right, moving on. Let's go to, this is a fun one. And we're going to go to happy hour after this recording. So, ha, ha, ha.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
In the last episode, I was like, my eyes were like bugging out of my head because we were talking about like CEOs shouldn't be like dating their direct reports. And I'm like, ha, Andy Allmeter that runs Leath HR Group.
There is a direct reporting relationship there.
Technically like work there
I know.
anymore.
I love
It's
making
fine.
the HR nightmare joke with my husband that runs the company I started. It's really fun. Okay, nonstop happy hour. This is an HR coordinator at a tech company. Okay, they say our sales team has started holding weekly virtual happy hours on Zoom from 4 to 5. Cameras on, drinks flowing. Hey, sometimes prospects get invited. I've received complaints about sloppy behavior and inappropriate jokes, but sales leadership says it, quote unquote, builds culture. How do I rein this in without killing morale? I love this.
Builds culture.
It's building
yeah,
culture.
Sloppy jokes, they build culture. Yeah, they
I've
do.
res-
What
you know-
kind of culture is the question?
Sloppy culture.
Yeah, I just love I've received reports, anonymous reports,
Just-
where I'm like, okay,
So all the losers
Yeah.
not drinking on the
She's
call
upset.
are reporting.
She's upset she didn't get the invite.
yeah, exactly. So,
My question is, how long does the happy hour last that people are sloppy in 1 hour's time? Are they like taking back shots? Is it like our 21st birthday?
Oh my God. I remember working in Manhattan, and you'd go to lunch and all the lawyers would be drinking like dirty martinis at lunch.
Yeah.
And I was like 22 and I thought, this is normal behavior. No, drinking during the workday isn't usually normal behavior.
No.
yeah.
4 to 5, I'm kind of like, okay, I could see that being like a fun 4 to 5. I don't know, once a week. Like,
Is it once? I didn't get the sense
It
as
said
to how
weekly.
often. Is it every day at 4 to 5, or is
I
it?
mean, I don't know that you need like a weekly happy hour. I don't want to go to a weekly happy hour with everyone I work with.
Yeah, but
I
you
mean,
don't like doing. You don't
yeah,
like.
you're
doing
right.
That.
I don't like
a
doing
lot
social
of people
things.
like.
I agreed to go to happy hour after this.
I know. I was
For a very
frankly
brief,
surprised.
for a very brief moment
in a
in time.
positive way. Thank you for agreeing to hang out with me.
But yeah, like how long is this happy hour lasting? And I think the drinking and having drink, they're all 21 years old. They're all adults. Like I'm not monitoring like that kind of stuff unless it's people are slurring words and saying inappropriate stuff. Then
Which it
maybe
says
when the behavior crosses a line, then yeah, we're going to have to kind of go in and say like, okay, well, that's not building culture. At least it's not. And not everyone agrees that this is the kind of culture that they want to be a part of because they're complaining about it. So reel it in.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is it sounds like, okay, this is a weekly, say it's a weekly Zoom from 4 to 5, say on Fridays. It's a voluntary thing. You don't,
Right.
if you're uncomfortable, just don't go.
Yeah.
And if it's a Zoom, that means people are in their work setting or their home office or whatever. So, if they're not driving, then okay, yeah, maybe they're going to have
It's kind
that.
of ideal instead of doing it at
exactly.
the office.
I think they've been pre-gaming though since
like-
noon.
Yeah,
for
they
this
may have
Zoom.
started
It
at
sounds
3.
like if they're slurring their words
Work
already.
from home,
Yeah.
drink
They've been
from home.
pre-gaming at home.
And there's always going to be
Zoom.
that level of separation to where people, whether they're responding to something on the internet and they feel like they're anonymous, they're going to say things that are probably more off color than say face to face.
Yeah.
So that Zoom is that just one level of separation to where people, and they're in their home environment, so they
Yeah.
just may feel that much more comfortable
right.
about saying this rather than in a work setting.
Well, this is like anything. If your team doesn't know where the boundaries are, how can you expect them to stay within them? So the minute things become inappropriate, it's like, hey, we want to have this. This is fun. This is a great way for us to wrap our week. But that behavior you had on the Friday Zoom where you said this and this, that is crossing a line, right? That's what makes it no longer fun. And it puts us in jeopardy of not being able to do this kind of fun stuff, right? So,
And if it's just one
Again,
person, then you address it with that one
address
person.
it with the individuals that are behaving poorly and keep it intact for everyone else. And chances are there's some people too that are just like, can I just cut out an hour early? Like, I don't want to drink on Zoom with my coworkers. That's me. That's
Or the
me.
prospects.
That's me. I'm like, can I just clock out early, please? Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess if this came across my desk, I would just go directly to the leader that's like hosting and say, hey, this is the word on the street. You might want to tighten up a little bit. And
Or say, I'm joining your Zoom next week. Send me the invite. I can't wait.
they'd immediately cancel the series and send out a new one.
Exactly.
So I thought I'd join your Zoom happy hour and just see how it's going. I heard you're doing a great job building culture.
Toby memes immediately start circulating on Teams.
Who invited HR to the party?
Yeah.
Womp womp. Well, the outcome was what we hoped for, in that these happy hours get canceled. So, oh man. All right, let's pivot. Let's go to lunchbox politics. Okay, an office manager at a mid-sized consulting firm in Philly. So an employee wore a T-shirt with a political meme on it that offended several coworkers. Ugh. This is like the kind of stuff that I'm just like, why? Why do we have to deal with this? Now that employee is accusing HR of censorship because we asked them not to bring it in again or wear it again. Where's the line between free speech and workplace policy?
Well, freedom of speech doesn't exist in the workplace. That's a right that you have outside of our very private environment, which is a workplace. Like,
Also, most handbooks have like something that addresses this pretty clearly.
there
Well,
are
in most
legal
handbooks-
rights.
yeah,
that are
most
like
policies-
First Amendment, different amendment, that doesn't necessarily always translate inside a private environment.
Yeah.
And I don't think people
doesn't.
understand the difference between that.
If you look at a dress code policy, many times you're going to see the word inappropriate.
Yeah.
Inappropriate slogan, inappropriate this or that. So it really is that person's definition of inappropriate, to where it is sending some message that is inappropriate for your customer base, the rest of the employees, et cetera. But no matter what side you're on, you're going to offend the other side. It's just, is that person being, oh, I'm triggered by that? Well, that triggering is your problem.
Yeah.
If it is foul language or something like that, I completely understand that. Political slogans, you have to be careful in a private company to where that may not be what your customers are looking for. This business is is a for-profit business, and we don't want to offend our customers. So we want things to be more bland. As long as you are being consistent on both sides of the aisle, both sides of the issue, whatever, then there you go. That's all you can really ask.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would fall under anything else, under our workplace harassment, anti-harassment, all of those things, right? Jokes, political things. I mean, that all goes into it. And what the threshold is a reasonable person, right? So it is what you said, right? Inappropriate. And that may be vague for people, but it's basically meeting this kind of median threshold of what crosses a line to a reasonable person.
Now, let's also recognize that we're talking about somebody in Philadelphia. So this person could have worn a New York Giants T-shirt to work.
This is just someone who's not an Eagles fan.
Exactly.
And they're going to get beat up in the parking lot.
Yeah. But it is true. I mean, the question was more like, where's the line?
Yeah. Do they have free speech at work?
Freedom of
and like,
speech.
can they? Yeah.
Sure, unless you're saying something that offends your coworkers, and then you don't, right? And then we have to come in and we have to say, hey, you can't say that. You can't wear that.
And if you don't like a little censorship to our discretion, then don't work here anymore.
Yeah. If it's a Patriots jersey, I completely get it.
How about
we completely endorse the censorship?
Well, sometimes I want to be like, if you're wearing it, I want to sometimes ask like, what's professional in the workplace to begin with? Maybe you could dress up a little bit better.
I want your opinion on this.
I also was in a business where no logos, outside of Nordstrom things were allowed.
Right.
And again, that's where you're being consistent.
Yeah.
Where it's like no logos, no slogans,
we were a little
no
dressier.
nothing.
No one was wearing those kind of things.
I have a question. Okay, so like we work with a lot of in a lot of companies that have casual workplace environments. And so like the offensive things are usually easy to sort of spot. But what do you guys think about wearing like a brewery shirt or a beer shirt, Bellican beer, or like Wrightsville Beach Brewery? Like, is that okay? Like in a casual environment, like if you're not working in hospitality or like for a beverage tech company
or like a customer facing.
Yeah. Like, is that okay? Can I have a beer shirt on when I'm doing like a Zoom with a customer, like and showcasing my software? Is that?
I think it depends a lot on what type of business you are. In a law firm where clients are coming in and going to say, oh, yeah, that's a brewery shirt. It's not exactly the most professional dress.
Yeah.
But if I'm working in the trades, and I got a plumber coming in just wearing T-shirts or whatever, then I'm probably okay with that. But I think it really depends on what business you're in.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, are you asking me as a personal or as an HR profession? I know you don't like
T-shirts, period. So
if you're asking me personally, I think everyone could do a little bit better job dressing up for work or dressing just up for life in general. But if you're asking me professionally, I think probably what Greg said, like it probably depends on the trade. I don't have any problem with someone wearing like, Wrightsville Beach Brewery or Wilmington Brewing Company. Like, they're out in the field they're in the office, but they're not customer facing. They have an admin and we have a casual environment, but I still expect, some level of just like hygiene and is it clean? Is the shirt stained? It's like, let's be somewhat professional about it, even though you're wearing a T-shirt. But like, I don't love it, but I tolerate it. If the client is okay with that, then I'm okay with that. Yeah, as long as it's not like offensive. I would prefer people to wear T-shirts and stuff that didn't have logos just to kind of stay neutral and not have any issues. But at the same time,
9 times out of 10,
necessary.
Somebody's coming to me as the HR manager and they don't like what that other person's wearing. I'm be like, well, go ahead, tell them.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We just want you to deal with it.
Or you tell them
I don't have a problem with it.
For the whole business.
You tell them they need to put deodorant on. Why do I have to do it? That's what was always my favorite.
Because you smelled them.
Was like the hygiene stuff, and they would come to me. I'm like, I'm not the one standing next to them in the cosmetics bay. You are. Like, why don't you tell them? Why do I have to do it? It's not comfortable for anyone to tell someone that. But no, we always had, I would say like dress code wise on that line, where I always have a problem is like, we have these business casual environments, and I think men do business casual pretty well because men are wearing either like maybe denim or they're wearing khakis and they're wearing either a T-shirt or a polo or, a longer sleeve shirt, whatever's appropriate, like what Greg has on, right? And men do business casual, I think, really well because men dress in a little bit more like plain colors, like term, just, you know what I mean, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone knows.
Well,
but
women, they have 7 polos.
Yes, they have a more
and 3 pairs of
standardized
pants.
wardrobe, I guess I should say. But where I always face it is like women in business casual. It's a little bit harder. There's a big interpretation, and some of it is more appropriate than others. And and I'm not even speaking to my businesses now. I don't have any issues with dress code right now, but like we used to deal with that a lot at Nordstrom as we transitioned out of, when I first started working there, we were a very dressy environment. And some of us maintained that dependent on the position you had or the division you were in. But as the years went by, we were like, hey, dress like what you sell, right? So if you're a junior department, like wear with what's appropriate. Don't wear sweatpants and things like that, but you can wear denim. So the denim departments were like, you can wear denim. You sell denim, right? And men did it well, but women, it was really hard. It was really hard because they just looked so casual. And so that's where sometimes I think
a lot of times I'm working in businesses where the owners are coming in shorts and flip-flops.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of old school. I don't wear shorts to the office. I don't wear flip-flops anywhere else but the beach.
Right now.
And that's
Lisa
fine.
has on shorts.
You're on a podcast.
No judgment.
You're not event. So
I also knew my legs are covered by Josh's desk here that he puts in front.
So, I'm going into the office. I'm always going to wear pants and some level of collar, button down or otherwise. And people are like, oh, Greg, he always dresses up. And I'm like, yeah, this is not dressed up.
I know.
This is just professional. This is casual.
I will ever be in the clothes I wear now. And people think I am so dressy every day. I'm like,
well,
this is nothing.
In a casual atmosphere, like it's mainly like the owner and the policies and the people managers should set the tone. And like, as soon as something pops up that feels like remotely inappropriate, just like it's easy if it's like remotely inappropriate, it's easy to kind of half joke about it, right?
Yeah.
To be able to like not make it a big deal and kind of call the person out or send them home. And I mean, I remember having to do that in the plant, like sending people home.
Yeah.
And that was so embarrassing for everyone. So like, if it's borderline, I think a lot of people, especially young people, just need a little coaching.
Yeah.
They didn't grow up.
Right. Everyone's interpretation is a little bit different. Everyone's style and taste is different. And to me, I'm always like, is the job getting done? Is the work getting done? Is that a good employee? Like, I don't care if they have that logo on their t-shirt or not, as long as it's, again, not offensive to a reasonable person, like, and it's not interfering with the workplace, then shorts and flip-flops are fine. I wouldn't wear them, but they're fine.
It's sometimes more difficult because when you have the much younger employee to try and counsel them saying, hey, we got some customers coming in. We need you to maybe dress a little bit nicer. Their eyes just gloss over like, why?
What? Yeah. What do I wear?
Why? What does that mean? I don't have anything.
Go to
right?
TJ Maxx
and so sometimes
now.
That's a thing. And I dealt with that in our environment where we would say like, okay, well, let's give you a little kicker here so you can kind of buy a few things.
Here's $50. Go buy some khakis at Target.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody should get some khakis.
I'm not promoting khakis.
Jake from State Farm.
Men.
Do the one about crying in the workplace.
Crying. Hold on. I want to, because it's pivoting right off of what we were just talking about.
Okay.
This like inappropriate, just sort of like the way that you're showing up. Here's somebody that's like talking about their coworkers working from bed. This has happened to me. I swear to God.
I have a friend that's like so good at her job.
Oh my
she's
God.
always in her bed. And
One
like,
of my team members joined a Zoom meeting from bed, propped up with pillows, camera fully on. When I brought it up jokingly during the meeting, she said it's her safe space and accused me of toxic expectations.
I just hate that everybody goes there.
Telling me your generation.
Toxic.
You're being toxic. Like, that's not toxic.
If you're in bed, I need you to work. Like,
it's like you
can't
can't deal with me at all because now you are being toxic.
I do though. I have to say, like my very best friend, like she is a high level person and like she works remotely now. And anytime I'm talking, she's always in her bed. It's just where she's comfortable. And like,
could you work from bed? I could never work.
I don't know that she would take like client meetings from bed by any means, but she would probably have a call with like a coworker from bed.
Oh my God.
I'll have to ask her.
There's
I
like
hope
a
she
level
doesn't
of
listen to
intimacy
this.
too about like being like, I don't like it when people, you can tell they're in their bedroom. I don't care if it's your guest bedroom. If I can see like a closet and like a bed behind you, or like even a hotel room, like put this blurry thing on. I don't want to
I
see
try
where
to
you're
put the blurry,
sleeping.
even when I have a nice background, I just put the blurry so people aren't like distracted.
It's just very strange to me when people are like showing up on video in a bedroom.
I put the filter on like I'm working from Cancun.
Yeah.
But
There's like waves in the
Yeah.
palm trees.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of goes back to like, are there any work from home expectations that says like that would be
Yeah,
an
but
issue?
isn't this
Is the work getting
commonsensical?
done?
Is the work getting
Like,
done?
Is the work
Yeah.
getting done? Like, is this an issue? Because it
I don't
feels like
know.
a non-issue.
I think it's an issue.
Like,
Well, and if it's from a person who's not allowed to work from home, where they're taking issue with the people that are allowed to work from home, then
yeah, like look, they're in bed.
that's yeah.
Well, I think it's like just giving the impression it's like we're creating the issue because our mind is going to like, they're relaxed, they're comfortable, they're going to take a nap after this, where it's like,
Yeah.
maybe this is the only place they have today. Maybe they have a partner that also works from home. They only have one desk, or someone's in the kitchen. They
I
had to
love
go
that
up to their
you're
room.
so
Like,
optimistic.
I don't have a chair in my bedroom. So if I like yesterday I had painters in my house and I had to take a call. I mean, I have an office, but I'm thinking like, if I didn't have that office, there was painters in my house downstairs. So like like where would you take it from?
I
don't
would be
know.
off video. Like if I'm in my bed, I think I would like say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm mobile. I am gonna be off video."
That's true. I could have, I suppose, been off video, but
The
I
pajamas
wasn't
and the
in my
fuzzy
bed, just so you know,
slippers
but-
in bed, lots of pillows and all that
It's
kind of
so
stuff. It's not
unprofessional.
really professional. Yeah.
I
and,
mean,
and I don't know what this person's
I don't
role
think it is either.
Yeah.
But you guys, there's a lot of environments out there that like what's happening in the offices aren't professional either sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's like, is there a greater issue here that needs to be addressed? Do they just need some
Yeah,
standards
toxic
around like,
expectations.
I mean, maybe they just need some workplace standards around like, if you have a work from home job, what should your workstation look like?
Yeah.
Where should you be set up at? Let's go over some guides because clearly we don't have people
No
who maybe have the
pre-gaming
best
while
judgment.
you're on the clock.
Yeah, we got a lot of like work from home
Smoking weed
issues.
out of your vape while you're on team meetings.
This is not
No.
helping the episode we did where we were big fans a couple of weeks ago of working from home
Yeah,
and
I
remote work.
yes,
These
big
examples are
fan.
not helping us.
Listen, personally, I'm a big fan, but like, yeah, I don't like the working in bed on video and like, all the other things that we've already talked about in other episodes.
I'm not a huge fan of working from home. If I'm working for a customer, I want to be at that customer.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
mean, for us, it's a little hard. I mean, sometimes in our jobs, it's weird. Like I do a little like half and half with a lot of clients because I don't have good workstations at any of my client offices. So if I'm doing like
You're in
a
a
huge
conference room.
project, I need to go home and have my big monitor where I have 2 screens.
Yeah.
And like, so there's some stuff like project work. I prefer my setup at home,
Mm-hmm.
but I think for us as HR people, we need some face-to-face time too. So it's a good, we like a hybrid balance was our conclusion, I think, on
Totally.
that episode.
Yeah.
But you can go back and listen. It was a few episodes ago.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
episodes ago. It was this season though. All right, let's talk about Greg. Greg wants to wrap up this episode with the office crier. People are sensy, you know what I mean? Like
I've got so much experience in this regard, though.
I want
Do you
to
just
hear
like
from
push
you.
him a tissue box?
Yeah.
Mm,
Be like, can we
no,
continue?
better than that. Better than that.
Office back rubs. That was another episode, remember? Oh my God. That was bad. We have an employee who cries often in the office, almost weekly. Sometimes it's about work, sometimes it's personal. Coworkers don't know how to respond, and everyone's walking on eggshells during and after these emotional episodes. How can we support this person without making it worse for the team? I think that's like a really nice, empathetic
That's a
way to
nice
frame it.
write-in. Yeah, that you're
There's
concerned
no
about the
toxic
person.
behavior. Everyone's just sort of like a little worried.
Yeah, they weren't worried about themselves. They were more like, how do we get this team member some help?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So
let's start.
I came into a business. This is many years ago. And when I'm dealing with the leader that's kind of going out, he says, "Just Greg, I'm just going to tell you that about every 3 to 4 weeks, you're just going to have to really yell at Susie." And I'm saying Susie. Her name wasn't Susie. And And so I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, you're just going to really have, because that'll calm her down and, the crying behavior will stop. I'm like, crying? He's like, yeah.
Crying.
It's like, it's about, I'm like, okay. So literally about 3 weeks later, she's just crying. She's about all of these
In a
things.
meeting,
And I'm
like a one-on-one or something?
just constantly, just about everything.
Oh.
And so it just became this pattern. And what I came to realize is that's how this person got her way.
Oh.
And she had probably been doing this type of behavior, this pattern, her whole life.
Yeah.
With her parents, with her spouse, with whomever. She got her way by crying. So I got to a point and I'm like, she'd do whatever, she'd start crying. I'm like, okay, Susie, okay, we're here to talk about this issue. I know this is difficult for you, whatever, I'd give her a little bit of space. Yeah, push over the tissues. She'd stop. We'd get back on point. She'd start crying. I'm like, okay, Susie, we're here to talk about these issues, performance or whatever. She'd stop crying, and I was able to wean her off of the crying
By refocusing her.
You're just constantly refocusing her back. Very early in my career, we actually taught a class on how to handle people who cry in the office. And it was
Really?
It was 2 trainers.
Oh my God.
And the class got to vote on who cried in the training session, which trainer got to cry. So they always voted for me to be the crier. And the other trainer it was all role playing. And the other trainer would then have to deal with me crying about this one issue or the other. And so if you can just bring them back to the issue at hand, crying is a defense mechanism.
Totally.
Yeah. Now if they've had a loss or where it's a real issue, that wouldn't be constant crying.
Right.
That's time and place. So it was probably a year or 2 later, and I was actually laying Susie off.
Cried?
Immediately goes to crying. I'm like, okay, Susie, I know this is a difficult conversation, etc. She's bawling, whatever. I'm like, okay, I know it's hard. Do you want to take some time? Come back. And after my 3rd time of redirecting her back, she literally flipped a switch from bawling to, okay, so what do we have to do now? And I'm like, it's a defense.
Yeah.
And it was a complete act. So as long as you can recognize that, you deal with the issue, not the behavior.
I know sometimes like when I get frustrated, like I want to yell. I actually think it would be better sometimes. Like I should just like get mad and like say what I think, but instead I'm just like, I get so frustrated, I start just crying. And like I haven't done this like at work in front of anyone in a very long time, but like could I have? 100%. So I wonder if it's like, I don't know, some people just deal with feeling frustrated or angry or like you're coming at me like personally, or I don't know, and just react with tears.
Well, crying's an emotion and it's not a bad thing. So I think that's where first, like there are people who get really angry at work and frustrated, and we wouldn't, tell them to, we would handle them in the same way. Like, let's bring it back. Let's calm it down, whatever it is.
Refocusing
So it's like, you have to think about the individual and why. So like, here's a good example of like, I have someone in one of my clients who sometimes I think the business leaders are afraid to address anything with her because she's a crier as well. She's the kindest human in the world. She's sensitive, but we gave her a glowing APR and a raise and she cried because someone was telling her nice things. And she's clearly to me, she's had a life where people have not always said nice things to her. Right. So it's like anything. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm crying. Like, I'm very happy. This is so nice of you to say this, but that's just her natural reaction because who knows what her life has been like, right? In these last 37 years or how old she is. And that's not for me in the workplace to know. So I always tell the owner, I'm like, just let her cry. It's fine. It's fine. We're going to continue, move on. Pause. Ask her if she's okay. And she always says, I'm okay. Keep going. And keep going, right? Like his instinct is to stop because here's a female in front of him crying. And I'm like, it's fine. It's
What do I do?
If she can listen, like it's her reacting. What's the difference between her crying and her sitting there smiling and nodding her head? Nothing. It doesn't affect you. So a lot of times I always think of like, Okay, is that crying leading to chaos and everyone around them? That's different.
That's kind of what
having
this person's
I
saying,
think this
right?
person's having this like natural like fit, and there's all these things
Yeah.
happening. And we need
And
to go
everybody's
in.
walking on eggshells.
And like any other behavior, we have to say, hey, this behavior is distracting.
Yeah.
What's going on? What do you need? What's support? What's happening in your personal life or your professional life? Because I hate to tell you, they're all freaking the same.
Yeah.
So if you're having a hard time personally, it's all coming into the workplace eventually. So like, let's do what this listener said. How can we get them support? The best thing to do is to hear it from a coworker and say, clearly something is going on and something is wrong. We've noticed like anything is making you kind of cry and upset in the workplace. Like, what do you need?
Sometimes there's triggers too. Like, so at Vanica, before every team meeting, we do personal positive focus and professional positive focus. And the whole intent is to get like your serotonin and your good mojo going or whatever. Well, like there's several people that have things going on in their life. And like when you get around the table and everybody's talking about all the friggin' wonderful things happening in their life and you get to them, they're going through a divorce or they've got a sick parent or like they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And they don't want to talk about it because it happened like yesterday.
They're like, I'm just trying to show up and be at this meeting.
Yeah, like I don't want to talk about personal positive. And so like allowing them the space, like I even put it out on Teams a few weeks ago. It was like, hey, just so you know, like this is meant to be a good thing. And if you ever feel like you're not in the headspace to talk about personal positive focus, just say, hey, skip this week. And I'm just going to do professional this week. Or just say, hey, I'm going to take a pass this week. Like no one cares. And like everybody will be totally respectful on that. So I think also just having boundaries too about like, if you're a crier, like don't put yourself in those situations and just say, hey, I'm going to take a pass. So
yeah,
I don't think there's anything wrong with having boundaries.
On your note, I even think like I'm someone that would just be like, nothing exciting is happening in my life. And that alone is a trigger. When I'm hearing all these great things happening, nothing bad is happening, but like it kind of sucks to sit here. This is like going to another wedding single, like it's that kind of thing where you're just like, do I have to also deal with this in the workplace? Do you need to know? Do I need to hear about all these great personal things? Can we just leave this to work? So, but that's me, me and my like boundaries between work and
You
professional.
have good boundaries.
Yeah, but when you're looking at behaviors and like the crying behavior or whatever in the workplace, and where you can see that it's a pattern where this person and the person, my point was this person was trying to influence, basically get her way by eliciting this behavior, and it was very effective for her. And so what I would always coach people when you are dealing with this, they're trying to get their way. They're trying to win. And if you just let it happen, they win.
No,
the behavior will not change.
I mean, to me, the first thing I would say is I notice that every time we go through this, you start crying. And it feels like to me, that's your way of getting your way.
Right.
Do you realize that you do that? Like, and
tears.
So,
and again,
like,
circling them back.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to sometimes say, people don't even know. Sometimes people, it's like that, again, they've been doing that all their life in every aspect of their life. And it takes someone to step in and say, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I see this.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing this.
I'm calling you.
So like I'm calling it out, right? And so I guess the crier in the workplace, it's like if it's an issue enough for them to write in to HR Nightmares and ask us about it, then it is a systemic issue kind of happening a lot, and it's consistent. But we've got to step in and say, I notice, I see this. You've got to work on this because this can't continue. It's okay for you to cry and be upset and have bad moments. Like no one's saying that, but like this can't be disrupting the whole workplace every single week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, it's been fun. It's been swell.
Yeah.
But we must say farewell. Guys, we talked about bad t-shirts that offend people in Philadelphia. We can't believe anyone in Philadelphia is offended at anything like that, but okay. Alexa, are we being monitored? The happy hours with the sales team, working from bed. I don't like it, but hey, whatever. And a lot of crying in the office, just trying to get our way, or emotional. We don't know. Thank you for the write-ins. We hope that you'll continue to do those write-ins on the Leath HR Group website. We love them. These are fun episodes. We cover a bunch of different topics, which I think is going to be really good for the listeners. Hit like, hit subscribe. Please tell your friends. And if you need an HR consultant, you know where to go, Leath HR Group. We'd love to hear from you and see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
This was fun.
Signing off. Bye.